Hi, my name is Manish Gidwani and I'll be your trainer for F8. F8 is Audit and Assurance, and it's exciting for me to share this module with you, partly because I've been an auditor before, one of the big four, and it'll be nice to share some of my experiences as well as to help you pass F8 exams. Okay, F8 exams are considerably, some say it is easy, some say it's difficult, but I would say I think if you are able to think practically, logically, you do not have to memorize a lot of stuff. It's important to understand F8 because F8 is a very practical paper. Yeah, so when you're doing F8, always visualize yourself as somebody who has. I always tell my students this, that why don't you visualize yourself that one day you suddenly receive a letter and say that letter says that you have received uh, $1 million as a wealth, as something that has been given to you by some of your grandmother or grandfather. And when you receive that money, you would like to know, is it really 1 million or am I supposed to receive more? So you like to check every detail of those 1 million. You would like to check the breakdown. Why only 1 million? 1 million, is it the house? Is it the shares? Yeah, so keep that attitude. We call that attitude in F8 as professional skepticism. Yeah, we always have a questioning mind. We always like to keep ourselves that is it really true? We have a professional skepticism. Professional skepticism means you are not over doubting, but you're also not over trusting. Yeah, so that is the basic mindset of F8 exam, professional skepticism. Okay, so let me talk to you about the exam format. Section A, now it has been changed to have section A and section B. Yeah, section A, instead of having just straight multiple choice questions, you now have case based questions. All right, and how many of these case based questions? You will have three case based questions. Each of these will have 5 questions, and each of this question is 2 marks. Yeah, is 2 marks there. 2 marks. Okay, so that's where you already have your uh, 10 marks each case. So you have 3 questions, so you have already your 30 marks. Okay, then you have section B. Section B, you will have one 30-mark question, one 30-mark question, and then you will have two 20-mark questions, which means this is 40 marks, and so 40 plus your 30 marks, and then plus your 30 marks. That's how you end up with your 100 marks question. Okay, now looking at this exam format, you must be wondering what is there in section B. Section A is clear, it is multiple choice question. Section B, when you see the 30 marks question, what you would normally expect in an audit paper based on the past year paper analysis, this 30 mark paper will normally be audit risk question, audit risk and audit response question. You see, F8 exams, or generally ACCA exams in general, tend to have certain highlight topics. Yeah, so I'm not predicting any topics, but I would like to bring it up to you that generally it is audit risk and audit response question. Okay, and then you have this 20 marks question. These 20 marks questions will consist of questions coming from the topic of planning. Now, if you ask me, based on the past year analysis, you will see a lot of questions coming from internal controls. Internal controls. What do you mean by internal controls? Uh, this is basically when you are analyzing a company, you are looking at the control deficiencies and recommendation. What do you recommend for all the control weaknesses? Yeah, you will, of course, this is an audit paper, so most likely, in fact, they should test you whether you are able to know how to collect audit evidence. Yeah, how to identify whether the assets are complete, whether the assets actually exist, whether the assets valuation. Yeah. So let's focus on the audit evidence, planning, internal controls. That will be part of your section B, the 20 marks question. In addition, you will also have questions relating to your audit report. I'll give you syllabus highlights shortly, but I just want to tell you what do you expect to see in your exam format. Yeah, you have section B and section A. Yeah, in fact, it's good for us to actually see a question, so you can actually get a feel of it. Yeah, so let me get this question for you to see how it actually looks like. All right, that's how your exam will look like. You have 3 hours 15 minutes. Maybe I should open it in my other folder. There, this is nice for you to see this. All right, as you can see, 3 hours 15 minutes. Please note that the regulation now allows you to use the 15 minutes to actually start writing. Yeah, previously 15 minutes you were not allowed to write, but now you're allowed to. Section A, as you can see, you have all the questions compulsory. So for example, scenario 1, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions. Scenario 2, you have another 5 questions. Okay, and then you have scenario 3, and then another 5 questions. All right, in that way you will have your total 30 marks. Yeah, so section A, that's how it looks like. Section B, as I said to you, it will be a 30 marks question, and as you can see, this is 30 marks question, and I said to you, most likely it will test you on your audit risk planning skills. Yeah, because students' tendency is, people want to do audit without enough planning. So it's important the FA teaches you how to do enough risk assessment. Because please remember, we are doing risk-based audit. We are not doing procedural audit. Yeah, risk-based audit means we look at the business risk and then identify which areas we should focus on. It is not I go to the office and I check everything. I'm not thinking about which areas I should focus on. So it's a risk-based audit. FA is based on risk-based audit. And then you have your remaining 2 questions, which is the 20 marks question, control deficiencies, you will have audit evidence, and you will also have audit report questions. So this is to give you a feel of how FA question will look like. Okay, now if I want to show you to show you is the syllabus highlights. Yeah, syllabus highlights. As you can see, all right. Let's now focus on the syllabus highlights. As I said earlier, this is your syllabus outline. I hope you have a copy of this. But in this syllabus highlight, I want to bring your attention to this diagram. Okay, so if you want to know what you're going to be tested on, as I've given you a brief picture in the exam format itself, that you will the highlighted sections will be your syllabus highlight B, C and D. You notice that your planning and risk assessment, your internal controls and your audit evidence will be your highlight part of your syllabus. Of course, the whole syllabus is important, but it's so important to make sure that you understand B, C and D as an important part of your syllabus. Please don't put in claim that Mr. Manish said that A and E are not important. A and E are very important, but it's important that we focus on the exam. Now, the syllabus part A, the audit framework and regulation, will give you an overview picture of which are the ISAs, the International Standards of Auditing. Yeah, please remember in F7 we follow IS, International Accounting Standards or International Financial Reporting Standards. Here we follow ISA, International Standards in Auditing. Yeah, so we say ISA, right? And this one, the review and reporting has become a highlight, particularly this year. Why has become a highlight? Because in this year there has been an introduction of a new ISA called ISA 701. ISA 701 talks about the audit report, whereby the audit report format is not a standard format anymore. The auditor is now allowed to include an item called key audit matter. Okay, so because it's a new part of the syllabus, I understand that it is most likely going to be tested for the review and reporting. So I would like to include the review and reporting as a additional component. You will see that as a part of it. For example, in section B, if you see a 30 marks question, you probably have 20 marks on your audit risk and audit report, but you will probably have 10 marks for you to comment about the impact on the audit report. What will be the highlighted key audit matter? Yeah, so keep in mind ISA 701, key audit matter. So this is the syllabus highlight. Now, as you see this, important part of this is also to see the additions to the syllabus. Yeah, whenever you see a syllabus document, always see the additional to the syllabus here. Okay, so this part of the syllabus, this is the additions. Now whenever they say additions, the examiner is trying to bring your attention to it to make sure that you cover this. Yeah, so as you notice, what are the additional items this particular syllabus, which is going to be tested in December, will be your corporate governance practices and recommendations for improvements. Not to say that it was not there before. This was already there before. It is just that the if you notice, the focus is on the new outcome covering the evaluation of the corporate governance practices. Previously, it was we are just supposed to highlight the deficiencies, but now we are supposed to evaluate what is the impact on the corporate governance. So we cannot just say this is weak, this is, but we need to say why. Important factor is the why. Yeah, and then they have highlighted about the idea of outsourcing the internal audit function. So expect this question, expect this internal audit function advantages and disadvantages of outsourcing internal audit. Okay, and then you have this item talking about the accepting and continuing an audit engagement. This has got to do a lot about ethics. Yeah, should we accept, normally the scenario is, should we accept a project if the previous auditor was removed without any reason. So if the previous auditor was removed without any ethical reason, then most likely you will also have similar issues in this current audit. So the student is expected to say that how does ethics imply in terms of your whether you should accept, first of all, accept the audit engagement, or should I continue while during the audit the management is unwilling to modify an important item. What should you do about it? Yeah, so that's where the requirements of ethics comes in the area of acceptance and continuation. uh, Now ISC 220 quality control has been included. This item, quality control, was there in your previous uh, in FP7, but now it has been brought down to F7. Yeah, so QC as part of ICQC, which is International Standards on Quality Control, and particularly highlighted on IC 220. So highlight that, and then I want to bring your attention to this one, ISC 701. As I mentioned to you, communicating key audit matters. Okay, so that will be the additions to your syllabus, and please also keep in mind about the highlighted portion of the syllabus. Yeah, as I highlighted before, this will be your key part. Yeah, B, C, and D. But expect now in this year certain questions on the reporting, certain questions on the quality control. So keep in mind. But this B, C, D are unavoidable. All right. So now moving further, we will understand the framework and regulation. Right, that will be in the next recording. Thank you.